Happy Monday to you all. It is 6:30 PST on my end, and as you can see, we have our little buddy here, Steve Bijou, doing his Bijou knife. Oop, it's lagging a little bit. Let's make sure that's not going to happen. There we go. Hopefully you can see that just fine. We'll do a little turntable just for funsies. So, yeah, the last time we left you all, I was actually sketching him out in Procreate. I already had his face sculpted. That's what made me feel confident enough to continue. I always start with a face. I mean, we all normally do that, but I really wanted to establish just his general personality, his sort of like world wariness. And when I was happy with that, I just kept on going. And then you all were kind enough to sort of vote on different versions of him, different outfits, and this is the one I really loved. Having said that, there are several versions of even this outfit that I had fun with. So as you can see in the reference photo up on the upper right, it didn't save the undos here. You see, I have another version of him somewhere. Yeah, so you can see that here. This is a slightly different version of Steve. And I really like this one, but it got a little too Ronald McDonald-y. You don't really feel it when you look at the sketch, but when you see it in 3D, it's like, oh, I just hear the theme song in my head, da-da-da-da-da, and I'm like, no, I think I need to change him up somehow. So that's where I went through a second round of votes, and really grateful to the people who took their time out to say something and, you know, make their opinions known. Make sure everything's running okay, by the way. Yeah, looks like we're good. Looks like we're good. Cool. And just playing some lo-fi in the background. Hopefully that is not too loud. I doubt it is. And I think I'll do a little bit of a quick, hey Glenn, good to see you. Oh, speaking of Nomad and all things cool about it, Glenn, you've been such a beacon of light in guiding us all through everything from Nomad Sculpt to Gravity Sketch and onward, so I really appreciate all you do for us. And in fact, between you and Small Robot Studios, like, that's been my whole tutelage in terms of getting through and ramping up a Nomad. So here we go. What did I want to do today? What I want to do today, quick few things. A little bit of paint job on Steve himself. Let's put him in orthographic mode because I think that will be a lot easier to deal with, generally speaking, when it comes to painting. So the way I'm going to approach this is try to do it all within. Hey Suck, good to see you here too. Thank you for watching. Yes, I agree. SRS does amazing work, Glenn, and both of you are just like my titans of support, so I appreciate that. Select mask, that's what I wanted to do. So there's several different ways to mask here, but I really want to do it specifically on the arms and the sweater itself. So that's what we're going to do straight up. It's probably the easiest thing I can pull off for you all. So I select mask in the right side UI, and then make sure it's rectangular in shape. I just pull off here again. So just 3 down the side right there. And, I gotta make sure that I invert the mask. And I think there's symmetry on both sides there. Oh, there is not yet. Let's make sure this is white. And I want to make sure the roughness is just high enough. Let me see what kind of paint. Ordinarily, I would do a lot of the painting in Procreate, but I want to try this out purely in Nomad just to see how far I can take it. Most welcome, good sir. Just make sure this is up and running here. Cool. Oh, is this lagging behind? There's a lot of lag in terms of the actual. Okay, I gotta make sure the Let's View is up and running. Okay, good. It's catching up. It's catching up. So that's what I was doing. I was explaining the process of selectively masking the arm itself. That's great. So what I've done is actually painted through the mask itself. You see there's 3 little bands there. That's what's happening. They're going to turn Steve all the way around here. Again, it's nice to have our orthographic view so that way we get a full-on. Oops. Oh, the symmetry isn't mirroring on the other side. What did I do wrong there? And that's cool, you know, I can just recreate it on the other side. I'm equally fine with that. Huh. So there's several layers of symmetry that are happening here. You know, we could be talking about the symmetry when it comes to the masking itself. We could talk about symmetry in terms of modifying, for example, dragging and moving, things like that. Symmetry applies in all different ways here. You see if I take it off. Yeah, it doesn't look like it did. So let's replicate that on both sides. I still have the post-process up on this. Let me take that off. There you go. You can see it in its rawest form. I highly recommend to you all, if you are on Facebook, join the Nomad Sculpt group. Glenn also has a group as well, I think specifically for iPad sculpting or mobile sculpting. And I like both very much. So yes, this is Nomad Sculpt, 100% Nomad Sculpt. But sorry, I have to do my best to sort of keep an eye on the chats. So another thing I wanted to play with, you know what, let's finish up this sweater here. I do like it, by the way. I might thin out those white stripes a little bit more later so the blue comes out. But I like that. Someone gave me that. Several people gave me that note, and I thought, yeah, you're right. It pulls through a lot better in terms of the color contrast. Yeah, let's just do those two. So I'll probably do that level of banding, that stroke thickness. So again, we invert. Someone was very thoughtful this morning in the Nomad Sculpt Facebook group about asking me, well, how do I get to this point with sculpting? They were enjoying just the general style of it, and you know, it's a fun question to answer, because it's like, where do I even start with that? I didn't come from a traditional 3D pipeline, and I would say almost all of my sort of journey with that was in VR. So it was experimenting in Medium and tilt brush and gravity sketch and masterpiece and yeah, just like playing with everything. But then on top of that, I don't want to discount the fact that I've been an illustrator my whole life, and so that's why you see that reference. I wanted to at least include that reference photo in the back because really wanted those two to kind of speak to each other. Sometimes things kind of get lost in translation between a sketch and a 3D character. And I didn't want that to happen here. So I worked pretty hard to sort of get it to this point where it still felt like it had, even in its T-pose, it still had character and some personality behind it, and didn't feel like a Lego man, for lack of a better word. Let me see here. Oh, I don't know if it's catching up again. Is it doing that weird thing where it doesn't want to catch up? Let's see. Now it's good. Another thing I wanted to do is sort of play with the beanie here. And what I mean by that is, there's several ways to sort of approach this. I could go the route of learning Substance Designer, which I want to do more of. I've done like 1 or 2 projects with Substance Designer in terms of just texturing a robot. But I really want to take it a lot further this year if I can. I just need to find the right project to do it with, and maybe this is it. Maybe this character, which eventually I will animate, and hopefully for a short. Yeah, I just want to give him the royal treatment when it comes to texturing. So we'll see how far that goes, but yeah, okay, Glenn, you're saying this is why I like Nomad. It's also when to dive into 3D without the heavy learning involved with Blender or ZBrush. Yes, absolutely true. Absolutely true, and it is perfect for illustrators like myself. I think there's a growing base of us who are kind of in this space of like, we haven't been exposed enough to the traditional 3D pipeline, and may not even have the wherewithal to, keep up with subscriptions every year and just the tremendous like overhead financially when it comes to those things. Nomad was like, I don't know, $15 if I remember correctly. I mean, it's the best thing I've picked up. Now, mind you, I got an iPad Pro, so that's the expense, but to me it's like a second computer. And Glenn, you helped a lot in terms of like convincing me like this was the way to go. So bravo. Where's my stamp? So I'm going to try stamping the beanie. I think that's my next thing here. Again, I think I want an orthographic view for this. And let's go to the stamps here. That's showing up? Yeah, it's showing up. There's a real specific one I wanted. Let me see if I can find it. So these are ZBrush alpha maps I found, which I really liked. If only I could actually see what they look like. Oh, there we go. There's one. Then I want another one. Let's see how that one works. I also want the laces. Yeah, so let's try some stuff out here. Like, I want to see how the lace looks like, for instance, here. Ooh, I think it's a little high. Actually, I can even do it with the clay. That might be a little bit nicer. Oops. Oops. No, I think the stamp is the way to go there. I'm still getting used to just texturing overall, so this might not work out the way I thought it would. Yeah, that is so true. Glenn says, I love finding new ways to develop these skills, and the skills are all transferable if you want to go further with the bigger desk-bound packages. So true, like, because as I'm starting to do more with Blender, which in itself is its own hard-won journey to like loving something that is so lovingly made, but also very quirky. I I'm noticing like all the parallels between going from the iPad to Blender and just grasping concepts so much better now. Like even doing shape keys now in Blender, that's its own challenge, but it's been really fun playing with those things. What was I trying to do? Okay, so let's actually try to do the beanie as I said I would do. Let's see how that works out. I'll work with these laces later. Just want to see how this plays. Again, that might be better done with a smoother touch with these. So there's all this stuff about tiling, and I want to try that too. So I'm going to try a number of things here. See, that's not too bad. What I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this hat, make sure we have a version that's non-destructible that I can come back to later. And for this, it might be more better for me to. Well, no, the matte cap doesn't necessarily make it easier to look at. I'm trying to see. That's actually okay. That's pretty close to what I want. I just want something to feel slightly more wool-like. I'm really curious. So on the other side, I want to see how the stamp would look if I tiled it. So you see this here, there's a tiling, and I can scale them up so they're even butt up against each other. So I'm curious. See, that's what that does. Got it. Oh, I can even scale them across. Oh, interesting. So you can see how that sort of like changes the topography. But again, I don't really need the intensity to be that high. You can see how I can overlap that across the board. Before you know it, you have a woolly cap. I'll probably do this again later, but this is just to demo a technique I saw the other day. Again, I think this is something I saw in the Nomad Sculpt Facebook group. Somebody had left a really kind feedback about texturing specifically, and it's like a short 2-minute video, and it was awesome. Oh, someone was trying to texture jeans. Again, so this is coming out a little bit like wonky with anyways. You get it though. This is kind of, and then this is slightly too, what's the word I'm looking for? It's slightly too, like there's a little bit too much refraction. And the highlights are a little hot, so. So let's see, if I go back this, then we turn the post-processing on. So again, this is probably a little bit more texture than I'd like, but you get the idea. Like, out of a few stamps, you get this really cool look. And then again, I would love to be able to do that, maybe like some sort of denim texture for the Oshkosh Bagosh, but you know, I'm pretty happy with it so far. So that's kind of where I'm at with things. Hopefully the next time you see this, will be in even a better spot in terms of being able to... This is my most unfavorite, the thing I really don't enjoy the most, which is rigging. I really wish I had somebody who could professionally rig Steve for me. But happy to just be creating. So I think that is it for today. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I'd love to share with you all. So stamping, as you could see, is kind of a cool feature with a Nomad. Painting is relatively easy with a selective mask. Maybe what I'll do a little bit of like more freestyle painting just along the face itself. That way you can see how you can still do those things, and I'll even add another brush. What other brush should we use here? ZBrush. Hair and fur. How about this one? Let's try that out. Let's just see how that feels. Maybe kind of a beige area. Oh, thanks, Glenn. Yeah, you know me. You know I can't help make something cute. Oh, let me take the... As nice as the post-processing is, it sometimes will... Okay, off you go. Okay, the scaling's fine. Okay, not bad, not bad. Yeah, let's see what it really... It's a little hard to see how... But yeah, there is a little bit of texture on it, so that's what I'm speaking to. And then you can smudge that all you want, and, you know. So again, like, it's fantastic that we have the option to be able to traverse Procreate and Nomad and have them work hand in hand. But I just want to experiment with, well, can I just get away with doing it 100% in Nomad? Of course you can, especially if you have textured brushes like I just used just now. And that seems to be working pretty well. So I'm going to continue playing with this on my own, but hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight. Oh, Glenn, I got to give you major like props for the eyes. Like, for the life of me, I don't know why I was never doing this before, but for anyone else watching this, it's a little hard to tell, but the reason why there's such a beautiful highlight in the eye is because Glenn did this great tutorial about just breaking up the eye into these various parts, so you can kind of see sclera, I think it is. The pupils, iris, everything's in there, but they're separated into parts, so that the part that is totally transparent helps give it that just that extra, I was going to say humanity, dogmanity that we all need. Yeah. So if I haven't said thank you, thank you. But other than that, I think that I am pretty good to go for today, and I just hope you all have a wonderful day on your hands. All right? Thanks for watching. Again, appreciate you, Glenn. Take care, everyone.